For those of you who listened to the video on the brief history of corporate governance, and those of you who remember the video on corporate governance in general, how it's focused on risk and performance, you may be interested to know that our understanding of risk is not as black and white as people say it is. A lot of people say, do this, do this, do this. And they believe risk management is a very cut and dry thing. There's an obvious way to do things. In fact, there's a crisis in risk management. Our concepts of risk management are not so good. So this short video is just to present the some of the emerging thoughts about risk management. So risk management for a long time has been statistical. So we've tried to work out the likelihood of the risk and the probability of it occurring. And once we've calculated the probability of it occurring, then we need to do something about it. So risk management is different to calculating the risk itself. That's risk analysis. So risk management is covered by many standards: Australian Standard 4360, British Standard 7799, the American NIST, PMBOK has got a risk aspect to it. But and the economists also talk about risk return, and have a rich literature on risk and return. And also audit is very strongly influenced on how do we focus on the biggest risks? How do we minimize risk? And finally, there's a managerial decision-making school, which looks at the way managers actually make decisions. And they also have been studying risk. Now, risk management failed in Chernobyl, the nuclear power plant leakage. They did all these things, but still the risk happened. Bhopal, the Indian chemical plant, leaked out, many people died. Again, we followed the risk management standards, but it didn't solve the problem. Famer of Jensen and Famer fame concluded, after starting at the very beginning of economics, that there is no relationship between risk and return. So all the famous economics theories about risk turn out to be not correct. Enron passed all the audits. If there was never a warning from the audit side. And then Enron subsequently was sued for doing very, very unethical things. So again, the audit, the risk management regime followed through audit didn't help. Finally, managerial decision-making, quite interesting. I should say the banking sector has ignored all these signals telling us that risk management is not working. The banking sector in the Basel, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, have basically said, no, you should do this, this, and this. They've specified so many things that you have to do, but ignored all these indicators that there's a crisis in risk management. Now, the persons who probably have the most to say about this are Simon and Martin Shapiro. And they talk about the way managers actually make decisions. And they talk about framing, the way you understand risk, whether you pay attention to risk. And after you make a decision, then you go and revise that decision over time. It's not a one-off decision. So they've realized that risk management is not that simple. And what we need to do is we need to have a multi-stakeholder framework. So we can take into account how managers manage risk, what the risk management says, what the auditors say, what the economists say, and we need to frame that up against the type of risks that are occurring and how we might manage them. But right now, there's actually a crisis because all the things, the official ways of doing things actually don't work. Only the banking sector is pushing forwards to say, we must do it this way. Everyone else should be questioning, does this really work or not? So, was this interesting to you? Do you think it was valuable to present this challenging understanding of risk? Do you strongly disagree? Do you agree? Not sure. Do you agree, Matt? It's interesting. It's worth talking about. Or do you strongly agree that this is an issue that we need to talk about?